hello everyone, and welcome to episode 16 of the Vidya Shorts BuzzCast. I am your host, loldbz, with host Ghoulston here.
It's okay to be a coward if you win.
So it is. So it would seem. And this is a slower time for video games, I think. Winding down from the summer. Basically, when you think about it, kids have a lot more to do when they're not at school. So, likewise, game companies catering mostly, largely to children, young adults, and stuff like that are going to be, cognizant of this. And so the goings are going to be slow. Pickings are going to be slim. But fortunately, we have a few announcements that definitely have some value talking about. So we're going to be talking about more Pokemon stuff. Of course, we're getting a very steady stream of Pokemon news leading up to the release in November for Sun and Moon. And we had a release that came out pretty recently. A lot of people are looking forward to it. It's definitely, I'm not one of those mans, but I'm sure there's one man that was excited for No Man's Sky. We'll be talking about
the sky of possibilities.
Yeah, endless and limitless possibilities. The game that would take 5 billion years to fully explore. But we'll see about that. Also, another game came out, and not an official one either. This one was a Metroid game.
Another one.
Another Metroid game released by a fan. It was a remake of Metroid 2, Return of Samus, and we'll talk about that in just moments. And Ghoulston and I would like to talk about what we've been doing, video game related, streaming related, in the past couple of weeks. And we'll kind of go from there. We'll see what happens. We can't script all this. This is unscripted. After
most
all.
of it is.
Yeah, uncensored improv. Who knows? Ad-lib, mad-lib. Who's counting?
I can't count the number of times.
You can't count the number of Pokemon because there's just too damn many. And now we're going even higher. There's probably over 1,000 at this point. I don't know.
What is the current count? Like, not counting Sun and Moon. We're at 700, right?
Are we counting the forms whenever it comes out, though?
Does it get a Pokedex entry?
I'm sure it does. I don't think it's gonna be a form. So what's new with Pokemon? What did we learn? So speaking of forms, there are a few new ones. Meowth got a new one, a slimmer, sleeker, darker form, the darker dew of the Meowth family. For some reason, Alola has tempted it to the dark side, and Meowth is now a dark Pokemon over there in the Alola region. No one knows why. It seems more sleek and sly, and I guess that's all we really know. It just seems to have kind of a knowing attitude.
I saw a 4chan post that someone did the math, and an erect penis is about half its size vertically.
I think that's true for Meowth, though. I don't think it becomes bigger or smaller whenever
it's not fuckable. It's too small.
Well, at least someone did the math.
According to someone's math out there. That's about all I know about that Pokemon. It's sassy looking.
Sassy like a cat. Like Sassy from Homeward Bound.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder if he's going to get a Persian, Alolan Persian. I don't see why not.
Maybe that'll be fuckable.
In which case, that thing's going to be sassy as hell.
Yeah, I know. Persian's slightly larger than Meowth. At least considerably larger. I always thought that was kind of a weird evolution. Well, no, I guess not. But Persian looks just like a cat, like a large cat.
Yeah.
Whereas Meowth looks like a cartoon cat. So it's just weird to have that.
He's
that
cartooning.
transition.
He's got that big coin on his head.
Yeah.
I don't. Actually, is the coin even on the Persian? Or is it just got a little bead in the middle of its head?
Oh, it has bead. Yeah. So it goes from So it's just really weird. It's like you take a Pokemon that's pretty characteristic and defined and identifiable, and then it becomes a cat, basically. This kind of reminds me of how, Pikachu, right? No one thinks about Raichu because he doesn't look that good. I mean, it doesn't really like appeal to people as much as the original, like the very simple and identifiable Pikachu.
There's two kinds of Pokemon fans. They either want like the really cute Pokemon or the really cool, like badass looking ones, and Raichu doesn't really fit either.
Yeah, it's just. But now, the Alola form of Raichu, which for some reason exists,
as foretold by the anime many years ago,
is completely different. It is electric and psychic, and it chooses to. It has its that big ugly tail becomes a little bit more rounder, and a little bit bigger, and it like surfs on it in the air, using its psychic powers, no doubt. Very weird choice.
Powers to see the waves coming in the ocean.
So yes, there was long ago an episode in Pokemon where there's a surfing Pikachu that had psychic abilities, and people think that this may be alluding to it. And that would be pretty cool. Maybe there's also like a Alolan Pikachu, and it's gonna have like some psychic undertones that evolves into this. We don't know.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Surfing Pikachu just makes sense in this game. I mean, it really does. So I'm sure it'll be a thing.
I kind of am curious because they revealed the evolutions for Vulpix and Sandshrew with their Alolan forms, but they haven't said anything about these ones yet.
Oh,
so I'm wondering if it goes both ways, or if it's just that's the only one that Alolized.
So like Cubone won't be, and Persian won't be, and Pikachu won't be. No, I'm sure they will be. No doubt. You just wait and see. There's also a running theory that the starters might have evolutions based on what island you evolve them on or something.
Oh,
I doubt that.
That's a lot.
That would be too much. Or having different variations of the evolutions for them. I mean, I don't know. This is getting too deep because you're gonna have so many. Like, you already have that many Pokemon, right? And then you're gonna have different forms of them when you go to like a Alola region. The next game's gonna have their own regional specifications. It's gonna get pretty complicated,
messy,
and it's so easy to do because they can just basically modify a functioning, established Pokemon, make it a little different, and it's gonna work because the base works already, and they know that, so they can turn these out even faster than new Pokemon. Speaking of new Pokemon, we have a few released as well.
Did you even mention Marowak?
Yeah, I kind of did. All right, so Marowak, what? It's a ghost and ground, I think now. So it's got like ghostly abilities. It's like undead or something, maybe.
I didn't really pay attention to what it is. I just know that it has like this really cool like ghostly fire baton.
Yeah, blue flames
instead of a bone. Well, it's a bone, but it's like a ghost bone.
It's pretty cool because I mean it's also kind of alluding to. Well, I mean, really, Marowak is. Well, what is it? You do remember it was the ghost in Lavender Town, revealed to be the ghost.
Right. It's is a baby Kangaskhan with its mother's like skull wrapped around its head or something like that.
Well, that's what Cubone is in theory, but the Marowak, I don't know, it's just the evolution of that, where like it's hard cased on around it, but there was a dead Marowak mother or something like that in Lavender Town.
I think my question is, if this is like the Alolan version, if it's like a darker like tone, it's like the skull on its head is darker too. So it's like the skull just like rotting away on its head, like a bad skull? Maybe no marrow.
Yeah, there's no marrow to whack.
Marrow lack.
That's possible. But what I like to theorize is like what made them turn this way in this region. Like what inspired them to do that. I'm thinking that maybe like Pikachu, when it's like surfing on the waves, is able to like better channel its psychic abilities that lay dormant for decades in the other more dry regions. Maybe Marowak. How do you even spin that one?
His mom died in a surfing accident.
No, I don't. Maybe they're just able to survive longer there, and as they do, their like skull rots off, and they just like, I don't know, they become undead.
I still think it's just a bunch of nuclear fallout, just like radiation that's changing all of them. There's no like succinct explanation for why they're all changing.
There may be a reason though. It might have something to do with that Team Skull.
Ooh,
that's replacing the typical like Team Rocket or Team. I honestly Lava or something.
Team
I don't even remember
Aqua,
what the other.
Team Plasma.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, they had all that stuff. So yeah, we had like we went from Rocket, then we had like themes. Like was like this one is Aqua, Magma, Ice, whatever the hell. Now Skull. Skull isn't an element or anything.
Imposing. It sounds threatening for the first time.
It's definitely a change of pace, and they also act very different from what like all the other teams were just kind of like, oh, I'm just gonna be mean and evil because also I'm gonna make some puns based on the team that I am, fired up and all that, but
blasting off.
Team Skull is kind of very reminiscent of like something like Team Rocket, where they're gonna have they kind of give them like an attitude and a feel. In this case, they just seem kind of like thuggish, and it has like a little bit of bassy tunes in the background, and they have a lot of character, it seems. So I'm kind of excited to see how they pan out.
Lots of chains, loose fitting pants, ready to drop some fat beats on you.
Yeah, they definitely have a very distinct feel, and I'm interested to see how that turns out.
Like 90s rapper.
Yeah, I like it.
It's like crisscross. I think it's an interesting change of pace. I wonder if they'll be using any of the new Pokemon that have been revealed.
Yeah. The new ones are a little wishy-washy, wouldn't you say?
Morlok. Bishy. I don't care.
Wishy-washy is a new Pokemon that is a fish, a single fish, but...
solo.
Yes, but when it becomes a certain level, it gains the ability, somehow, some way, during battle, I guess, to form a school of other ones nearby. Hundreds, if not thousands, of wishy-washy fish, becoming a large, imposing fish mass. And
a pod of fish.
A school of fish, as they said in the release video. A murder of fish. Just a million fish, and they just look like a giant fish. An evil fish. The question is how this form takes place and why. So basically, this Pokemon doesn't evolve, ever. So far, at least. It just, in battle, will change forms based on some conditions or something like that. So I think that's kind of cool. A lot of people seem to like that one. It just looks like a mass of fish. Another interesting Pokemon is... Actually, I'll say that one for a bit. Morlo, that one's kind of boring. It's just some mushrooms. So I'm just going to push that one up in front.
The dumb name, bad Pokemon.
Yeah, I don't really get it. It's just some Pokemon. It's just some mushrooms. It has Spore, because it's just a mass of mushrooms.
I think we touched on it last time, but these are some really Japanese-sounding names. I think they're just getting lazy now.
Wishy-washy isn't. Morlo is, there's probably something to it. Lol, because it has Spore, it lulls you to sleep. More of it. Why not? Why less? It wouldn't be less lol, right? I have no idea about that one. There's also a weird, I don't think it was actually officially released yet, but there was like a little leak of like a sandcastle Pokemon. Starts as a small sandcastle and becomes a big one.
I like that one, although that's going to be the Pokemon that people were like, look, this is how dumb Pokemon is. First you have the Ring of Keys, and now you got a sandcastle.
Oh, this is akin to like the trash bag. Really.
Original 101 didn't have this. Ugh.
Muck.
Sandcastles.
Sandcastle was also depicted eating Pikachu alive. So that's interesting. Probably because it's a ground Pokemon. Hard to deal with. Or maybe it preys on small Pokemon and eats them for sustenance.
So it's essentially burying Pokemon.
Yeah, speaking of bear, there's a baby bear. That stupid bear that no one really liked that hugs things with its Gigaton hug force is actually not is the evolved form.
Ooh.
So there's a little stupid looking baby bear that evolves into it. And it actually looks really weird. I really don't know what they're going for with it. I'm trying to decipher it myself. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on with this mouth area, you know? I guess because it's like kind of maybe like wrapped up a little bit.
Maybe it's just a big smile.
That would be stupid though. It looks dumb. I don't like it. I don't like the bear.
It's always looked dumb.
I haven't. Yeah, and now it looks worse. Well, I was really thinking maybe it'll evolve into something cool, but no, that is it. That's the Pokemon. Oh well, can't all be winners.
I mean, there could be a third step.
You don't know, yeah. But one of my most favorite ones is the Pyukumuku Pokemon.
Pyukumuku.
Little research. It's depicted as a sea cucumber is what it is. Sea cucumber Pokemon, and this led to investigation of what is a sea cucumber.
What does that mean?
Okay, so it's actually a creature that lives in the ocean, and they're kind of like slugs, but they really don't have like a functioning brain or anything. They just kind of act out of pure like instinct and nerves and things, just detecting things. Like it doesn't actually think; it just does and survives on that. And basically, the way it has a defense mechanism by which it ejects its intestines from its, I guess you call it an anus if it's such a simple creature, and it startles foes, and also it may be like toxic and adherent and stuff, and may be used in some cases to like lure them into their body and stuff for sustenance and such. But so that's what they were kind of going with this Pokemon. And I want to say,
butthole face.
Yeah, I think they put the face. I think they made their face where instead of the. I think they tried to make it a little cleaner for the kids, but the mouth now is like it's like shaped in such a way, and you can basically imagine like the insides of this thing coming out and forming the hand shape that it does because it's just being pushed through this little grid that's in its face. And
yeah, I mean, its ability is innards out.
Exactly, which is exactly how a sea cucumber would work. And so it's weird that they call it innards out because that just sounds kind of morbid, but that's what it is. And I think it's pretty interesting that they went with that.
Allow me to share some hot takes I've heard. Is that this thing is not a sea cucumber, but it is instead a rabbit.
Where did you get that?
Some of our wonderful community members refuse to believe it's not a sea cucumber and think it is a rabbit.
Okay.
Because the front two spikes are its bunny ears. Okay. And it's got a little bunny tail.
I wanted to say they were just putting some of those spikes and stuff on it to make it look like a thing that doesn't look like. I mean, can you imagine just like a small gray like loaf of something on the ground with just like a little hole and stuff came out. They had to make it a Pokemon, okay? It's gonna look like something, conventionally cute, although it's not.
I don't think it's a rabbit. I just think that's what I hear. I don't agree. I think it's a sea cucumber.
It has rabbit-like motifs. It is a sea cucumber. And actually, to support its name, when I saw it, I was kind of laughing. The first part is phonetically like puke, because it's actually its intestines are coming out of its face.
Pew.
I don't know what the muku is. Yeah, muck.
Come.
Yeah. It's gross, yeah. So
and then when you see it, you go, uku.
Yeah. Phonetic, Japanese phonetic for bunny. The bunny sounds, I guess.
Uku.
But I like it. I think it's cool. It'll probably evolve, though. It looks like a baby version.
Yeah. We will, we'll just have to see what waits us in the world of Pokemon next. I keep saying it, I'm really digging these constant updates. They just don't stop.
They proceed. And it makes me kind of regretful that I'm not going to be able to really fully enjoy it when it comes out because I'm working that entire weekend starting Friday, so... That's life. That's life in the fast zone. Nothing you can do about it. But I'm sure I'll be playing it around that time. Maybe streaming it if I'm so inclined. It's no telling.
I mean, sky's the limit.
Yeah. There's no limit. No sky. No Man's Sky.
Skylanders.
Yeah, another bad game. I mean, so No Man's Sky is a game that came out recently. Everyone was anticipating it. I was calling it Spore 2 because it was an anticipated game. Not a whole lot of things to back it up. And it came out, and I think it was pretty poorly, maybe not poorly received, but not received well.
It's a mixed bag right now, honestly.
I read a lot of things about stability issues. I see a lot about low amounts of variation between all the billions of solar systems and planets you could possibly encounter. And I think it basically did exactly what I expected it to do. You know, it just kind of oversell itself. It told you that you could do anything, it could go anywhere, everything's going to be amazing, but in the end, you just start realizing everything's kind of the same.
Yeah, right now Metacritic has got a 68, and that's not truly fair because reviewers only got it on Monday. We're recording this on a Thursday, of course, as we always record on Thursdays.
Every day of the
every
week.
Thursday, every bye week. And some reviewers are not done putting out their final review yet, so they are, hard at work trying to figure out what this game is, what it contains, and what it truly is, what it can become, the potential it has, trying to tap into that. I've seen some places, I don't understand the idea of this, but give out unfinished, we're almost done a review, but here's the score so far.
I saw that too. I think IGN did that, right? They said, well,
yes,
right now we're gonna say it's this
6.
score, yeah. But maybe later we'll change our mind. So,
could get to an 8. Who knows?
Yeah.
See how much money we get. Maybe a 5 if we don't get anything. So,
are they calculating the promise of potential improvements as part of their score? So can it go down if it doesn't get better, or I don't know.
I think it's just with a game like that, it's possible that you just run into 50 shitty planets in a row without seeing the good stuff, because it's all just procedurally generated, and it's all just a quick rundown in case you don't know what No Man's Sky's basic formula is. You start off, you get in your ship, fly to a planet, run out of fuel, explore the planet, get fuel, fly to another planet, keep doing it. There's no real goal. You just kind of explore and break shit, and then see a weird looking animal and name it. So you could technically play the game for 100 hours and see the same 5 animals over and over again like an asshole. Or you could have the luck in finding a new animal every single time. I've heard some people have found these killer teddy bears. Some people find these weird 8-legged mantis things. You could just end up seeing the same creature a lot, or you could have a really fantastic journey, but that's why you gotta play a lot of it to make sure you get it right. And I guess the current reviewer is just not having a good time of it. That's on console. The PC release, I'm looking at my crystal ball. The PC release comes out Friday, and I hear it's got a lot of problems for a good number of people. Not running very well on a lot of PCs. This is to say that, I'm sure a lot of people are running it fine, but the people that can't get it to run very well are going to be very loud about it because they want their problems fixed or their money back.
Understandable. It's expensive. $60 for a independently developed game is asking for a whole lot.
Yeah.
I don't even know how many games have done that. I can't think of another one personally. I'm sure there was one at one point in time. Probably didn't go over too well.
I know the Witness came out for $40, and a lot of people were upset about that.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it seemed like a pretty good game for what it was. It was very focused on what it was. I think it was very.
It's great.
You were telling me about it. Yeah, I was thinking of playing it because people were so into it, but again, I don't play games. But $40, okay, and people are freaking out. Now it comes another game. $60. The only claim to that value it has is that you can play it for 5 billion years. I don't know why you would. I don't even know how you live that long, but it's just, I guess I thought it was just such a big game. It deserved a $60 price tag, but I think people are realizing that, it's got all these things that you can do, but you're going to be doing a lot of the same thing with various minor variations. Once the game even becomes playable, that is, like, past its stability.
There's a lot of issues with the game as far as the technical aspects of it, because for the game itself, if it's working all fine, for me, it seems just a little too boring and aimless. And this is coming from a guy that has enjoyed his fair share of digging straight down in Minecraft. It just, I don't know, it doesn't do it for me. It seems like everything is very large scale spread out, and that sounds cool from like an achievement, like, wow, good job, you made this great simulation of exploring in space. But I could also make a mow my lawn simulator. Doesn't mean it's a good idea. You can aimlessly wander around space, cool, but it may not be fun. It just is impressive that you did it. But technically wise, the game is having some problems with the servers. Again, this is an independent server. I'm sorry, this is an independent developer. So while they have been hyping this shit up for what feels like 10 years, at the end of the day, they still are just like a small little studio, and they have had a little trouble keeping up with all of it. They've been tweeting, Sean Murray, the lead of Hello Games, he's been tweeting out things like, "What is going on?" in all caps, or like, "Everything's fine, everything's okay, we're not freaking out, we're not losing our minds," and like other kinds of humorous ways of saying that they're freaking out. Servers are going nuts. People are saying that they can not see each other when they find each other, even though the developer said that it is possible to see each other. Just things like that.
I saw things of retracting multiplayer. Like, that technically doesn't really have it, but they said it would.
Okay, so it's... I sigh heavily because I feel like this is unfair to them, but they did paint themselves in this corner, is that it is, in fact, possible for you to see somebody in the game. No one has done it yet, but I feel like there's many reasons for this to be so. First of all, they've also said that it should not be buying it as a multiplayer game. You should be buying it as a single-player game, but it is possible to meet other people. There are online features and Easter eggs and stuff like that. But with an online game that, well, one, millions of people are logging onto their baby server that they didn't expect, so their servers are probably going goddamn nuts and probably not working correctly right now for people to see each other. Two is that because you can pause the game, there must be like multiple instances and multiple servers and such where you're able to pause the game without like messing up the online world. So it's possible that the two streamers that met each other in the same spot but didn't actually see each other, it's possible that they're either one on a dead server because the problems, or two that they were just in different servers, or three is just that instances or something. I don't know science, but
what if, like, when you pause the game, you kill yourself, and then you enter a different dimension? So, and there's like all these like dimensions within the game. You pause, you're dead, and that ship just like is there, and it just sits there forever. And your friend might have been on that layer or whatever, but then you're on the other one now. And maybe that's what they mean. Like, eventually, you might find someone, because you might be in the exact same, like, 1 in 5 billion solar systems, and one in infinite, dimensional layers, depending on how many times you pause the game or something like that.
Like, this guy's been talking about how big the game is, but he's just honest to God surprised that he's got so many people playing the game, and he just did not expect it. He said that there were more species discovered in the game than there were animals or more species that are on Earth within like the first 24 hours, which, I feel like this could have been seen a mile away because of how excited everybody has been for this thing. But it's just...
It reminds me of Pokemon Go.
Yeah, that sounds exactly like that. Or even Street Fighter. Just it seems like when there's a new popular thing that comes out, the developers don't seem to understand how popular something
Street Fighter was held pretty well, I think. Pokemon Go is very similar situation because it's a pretty small developer still. People don't say it's Nintendo.
No.
Because a lot of people thought it was. No, they're a small game, small server, or a small developer who have small means, and when something blows up, they can't handle it. It's bound to happen. I'm sure they'll do all right, for themselves. The game, though, I just don't think it has much promise as a game, as a good game, as a game that would be good. I don't think it will be such. I don't know what to say. I said it a while ago, but we'll see. I'll give it some more time. I'll let it soak for a little bit and see how it comes out.
I just think that my other issues with No Man's Sky, aside from it seeming like a boring game for me, is that it. If I'm comparing it back again to Minecraft, then I feel like this game is very nice looking and it's making itself look nice. It's HD. It's impressive graphics and all that stuff. If I think of Minecraft, I think of like shitty, blocky, voxels or whatever the hell they are. And so it doesn't bother me when I see, weird things like popping in or floating in the sky for no reason.
Well, the big difference here is that you have Minecraft's a lot smaller. It's really big though. Even if you're all on the same server, it's still really big. But you can actually make something. You can put your footprint in the game. You can actually make landmarks of your own. You can modify the world. I don't know if you can do quite that much in No Man's Sky. Not only that, but it's so enormous that you're unlikely to even find another person, let alone like interact or appreciate anything that they've done. So it's really not the same game at all, and I don't think it has the potential to be that good either.
I get that, but the going back to like the technical limitations, I suppose you could call it, is that I don't think I should see things jutting into the background, like popping in like a 64 game. And I sure as hell don't like it when there's like a big column of iron and a guy starts to cut across the middle of it to get the iron, and then just the top half is just floating in the sky. It just looks bad. It just makes me think that this game just looks crappy. And I realize that the same thing happens in Minecraft, but it just doesn't bother me in Minecraft because it's like a bunch of blocky, like cartoony looking game. No Man's Sky is supposed to be like this really neat space simulator game, and I guess it's on another planet. I suppose I can suspend my disbelief a little bit, but it just looks shitty. I don't know why that bothers me so much, but it does.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. If the game's trying to come off in a serious, stylized manner, and then you start seeing weird things happen, it definitely stands out a lot more.
Yeah.
But they're still they're a small company, so it's really hard to get that level of polish for a game released within 2 decades. But I don't think it's for me. I don't think it's gonna be for me.
We'll have to see what kind of fixes or what kind of patches they make in the future. They've already gotten to like 3 or 4 patches, so who knows? Maybe a good game to get on discount in the future, but
yeah, I'm sure it'll be a good game. Right now, it's definitely No Man's game until they fix it up.
This man will not buy.
But speaking of small developers making games,
here's a game you don't have to buy.
Yeah, here's a game you might not even be able to download. It's AM2R is a fan game created by did I mix it up or
ASMR, right?
ASMR? What?
That's it, right?
No. I don't think so.
Oh.
I think it's AM2R. I don't even know what it stands for. But it is
another Metroid. Oh wait.
Oh, another Metroid 2 remake, maybe?
Yes. Another Metroid 2 remake.
Oh. Were there more? I'm not the biggest fan of Metroid, but I do like it a lot.
I know it's been in development for a long time because I actually watched an old video from 2010, and they kind of mentioned while they were playing Metroid 2. They're like, I actually heard there's a remake of this game, being made. It was 6 years ago.
Yeah. So this is apparently it's pretty well polished, pretty well done. Actually, exceptionally well done for a fan game. Like you can't call it a ROM hack because they redid all these sprites and added features and stuff. Basically, they gave the Metroid Zero Mission treatment, where of course that was a remake of Metroid 1. They tried to do the same thing for Metroid 2, Return of Samus, and a lot of people said that they did very well. I haven't played it myself. I don't know if I will because it's a fan game, but it might be good enough to check out. But they of course, when you make a game with intellectual property, especially not belonging to you, but especially belonging to Nintendo, something's going to happen eventually. And I think within like 24 to 48 hours, Nintendo already attacked the game, took it down. I think it's strange, though, that they waited until the game was completed when it was on their website and documented for this long. You can look at it two ways. Maybe they didn't notice it until people started actually really talking about it when it came out, or they were being merciful and wanted to allow them to release the game. That way it would be on the internet and then take it down later because they kind of have to.
I kind of take it like akin to like, it's not hurting anybody if it's his own little his own little project. He's just making something for himself right now. It's not doing any harm, but the moment it's actually in everybody's hands, it's like, oh, well, snap, people are playing this instead of playing our games.
Yeah, well, I don't think it was a competition.
Specifically, Metroid 2.
I don't think it was a competition.
I kind of do, honestly. I think it is. What it is by calling it a Metroid 2 remake, is essentially implying that it's Metroid 2, but different in a little bit. And you can currently buy Metroid 2 on the Nintendo eShop for about $4. And I realize that it's probably not the hottest seller for them, but
it's something.
It's the same game, but for free, essentially, to them. Whereas something where the Smash Brothers PM, Project M, is its own game. It looks like Smash Brothers. It plays like Smash Brothers, but it's not a free Smash Brothers Melee. It's its own entity. And there's also Pokemon Uranium, another fan game that came out this week, I believe, where it's not a remake of a Pokemon game. It's simply a new fan creation. So it's not really shoehorning another Nintendo product out of the way. It's not, a remake. This is just my speculation.
Well, Pokemon's a little different because it's not entirely Nintendo. It's Game Freak as well. Whereas right. Metroid is Nintendo, then that's it. When you're talking about intellectual properties, if you allow people to start, making games at any point, especially at this level and quality, you're risking losing your intellectual property as you're kind of basically making it permissible to have people use and create things based on your characters, and basically giving it to the public domain almost. If they allow this, then they're just basically opening a floodgate. Even though this might not have been terribly insulting or damaging to them financially, they kind of have to do this, or it's just going to get away from them. I guess one argument is that they're not really using Metroid right now or ever, so maybe it doesn't. Ball. Yeah, no, they could have done anything else.
It's coming.
It gives me hope that they're actually going to make another Metroid game that's good. I really want to see that one day.
Happy 30th birthday to Metroid, by the way.
Yeah,
happened the same week as that.
Yeah, I think they were waiting on that for a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, nothing. Did Nintendo have anything for?
Yeah, DMCA for that.
That's it.
That was it. I don't even think they tweeted anything for it. They probably did, but nothing.
Damn.
Killing off a different fan make.
Well, this year has a couple of months in it. We might get something.
You'll get a lot of reminders that Breath of the Wind is on its way, or whatever the hell it's called. Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. I am going to be playing that game quite a bit when it comes out. I'm definitely going to have some dates saved for that. But
what are you playing right now?
What am I playing right now? Okay, so I had to make an emergency flight to Texas, which is a long way away, and then I had to fly back. So that gave me about 8 hours of flight time, so I needed to pick a game to play. I originally I was just going to go, but then I'm like, holy shit, that's a long time to be in a plane. I haven't done this in a long time. So I thought to myself, and I looked at all the games I had, and then I stumbled upon, actually I was looking at all of them, and I kept coming back to this one, and it was Castlevania Order of Ecclesia. And the reason I liked this game for this trip was because years and years ago, I had a very similar flight, and I knew I'd be on the plane for a while. So I went to GameStop, and I looked for a game, something that I knew would last me, something that I knew that wouldn't be something I had done before, and it was a Castlevania game. Because I don't play, I don't think, before playing this one, I don't think I really played a Castlevania game. I had a Super Nintendo, and I had one of the Castlevania games on there, but I really didn't play it that much. And I definitely didn't beat it. So, way back then, I remember playing it, and I just found this one ability in the game. Basically, you play as a female, which is kind of a break away from most of the other games. Main character is a female character who like absorbs like glyphs and stuff and gives her new abilities. That's kind of how you get new weapons, so to say, because they can be glyphs that allow you to do melee attacks or magical attacks. But my favorite one was called Volfulgar, which is for some reason you get it early on, and it just allows you to shoot electricity and it just hones in on things like it's like a lightning bolts out of your hand. I thought it was really cool.
Sounds great.
Yeah, so I just like leveled that up to hell and just used it, even though it wasn't good against everything. I just liked it, and yeah, it was great. And they have like stuff prefixes. So like if it doesn't have a prefix, it's not that good. If it has Vol in front of it, it's a stronger version. For some reason, you get that one super early. You actually find the regular Fulgur, which is the regular electricity, like much later in the game, and it's shit because it's the lesser version. I don't know how that worked, but the first time I played it, I just used the electricity the entire way. This time I wanted to do a little differently. So I just explored all my options. And I don't know, I had a lot of fun with that. The thing is, I never beat the game.
Oh.
I got to the end. Okay, so basically you go through the series, you get to the end, and I don't know if it's spoilers for anyone. I haven't beat the game yet, but I got farther now. You get to the end, you follow it through, you do what the game tells you to do. You think you're fine, and then you literally die, and you're dead, and it's game over. And it's like, oh, the last text is, oh, you did it, you saved humanity, but you're dead, and then it goes to the game over screen, just like if you died normally, and then it starts flashing these things, like these people that you should have saved.
Oh,
like it shows you, oh, they're in this room. Who knows where it is? This room, who knows where it is? I'm like, fuck. And I remember that. I couldn't find these fuckers. So I stopped playing it because I thought that was kind of dumb. But this time, I was much more diligent about how I searched for things, and I got all of them. Although I didn't get them all the first time. I did it. I went through the motions again, and then I died at that point. I remembered everything again. I'm like, oh yeah, this is why I stopped playing. So I only had one guy this time, so I found him and I did it, and I was done. And now I am in the last portion of the game, which is actually what's weird is that the game's kind of broken up into little segments instead of just one giant castle like most of them. They're all little segments that you go through.
Oh, okay, that's kind of like a carryover from Portrait of Ruin.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. But the last part is this big ass castle I'm finding, and it's really hard. And it's going. I was like, I thought I was almost done. I thought I would just go into a boss fight at that point, but no, it's a big ass castle, and it's really hard. So I'm enjoying it though.
That sounds like some Okami shit.
The thing is, I intended just to play it on the plane and I'd stop, but then I got into it, so I started playing it more. So I've already put like 11 hours into it. It's a good game. I like it. And what have you been playing yourself?
Me? Well, I kind of decided to drop down on a whole bunch of PS4 games this past few weeks. Just because I kind of realized I had not enough PS4 games. My one actual PS4 game was Knack. And that was like it. So anytime I look at like my collection of games, it's like, oh,
sold more than Super Mario 3D World.
I was just like looking over there. It's like, oh man, look at all these PS3 games, these Wii games, and oh, there's Knack for PS4. That's it. So I decided to pad out my collection. I grabbed some of the Naughty Dog games, Uncharted 4 and Last of Us, which I will get to. I streamed Gravity Rush on the main page. Wasn't a hit with the viewers, but that's fine. I had a good time of it. It was really, really weird, but it's getting a sequel in December, so I suppose it was a good time to check it out. Kind of just fly around as a woman and shift gravity in order to fall. You don't really fly through the sky, you just fall through the sky in different directions. That's pretty cool. The combat's a little but for the most part, I just liked falling wherever. Just falling all over the place. But the game I streamed on Wednesday was a little game called Tearaway. It was for the Vita, just like Gravity Rush was for the Vita, and they were both ported over to PS4. And it's absolutely beautiful. It's all papercraft graphics, made by Molecule Media, the guys that did Little Big Planet. So, you know, they do a good job of these materials, lifelike materials in a video game setting, you know.
Hobby Lobby games.
Like this, yeah, they had the sack boys before. This time it was like construction paper. And the whole thing's made of that material, and the game just prompts you constantly, like, oh, you need a new nose. Draw yourself a nose. And there's like a whole selection of pre-made noses and stuff, but you can also draw like anything you want using the little touchpad on the PS4 controller. So it's already used the PS4 touchpad more than I've ever used it on any other game. But, you know, we were just having a lot of fun, the viewers and I, just, you know, doing all kinds of things. You know, had a thing that said, well, now that you can control the wind, please draw a cloud for the sky. And I drew Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII. And after I was there, I like submitted my image, like 1 million cloud stripes appeared in the sky, and they're just blowing all over the place. I was like, oh, this is great. A squirrel asked me to draw him a crown, and I gave him a Mario hat. One guy asked me for like my banner to show how far I've come, and I drew an ananas, and I just put that up, and like everyone just kept walking around with these flags of ananases on it. So I was having a blast with it, and I really look forward to doing more of it. I usually only do like 4 hours when I stream, but I ended up streaming like 8 hours on that one, so I just got really into it. And apparently there's a lot more to go, so I hope to get back to that. And I guess one other thing I guess I should mention is that I was urged to play Spelunky for some reason, and people have been enjoying me just die over and over again when I just feel like for streaming for a few minutes or hour, just playing Spelunky. It's one of those roguelike games, roguelite, like Binding of Isaac or Enter the Gungeon. You die, new game kind of comes up, start all over. Fun time. Old game, but fun.
Yeah, old but fun games. Those are my favorite games.
And Overwatch. A lot of people have been playing Overwatch, as always.
Really? Still? That game's not dead yet.
Yeah, they actually have a fun event going on in the game for the Summer Games. They call it, obviously inspired by the Olympics. So I guess it's inspired people to keep playing. Although I don't think people really needed motivation to, you know, come back to Overwatch. I think no one really left. You get fun little icons. One of the most prominent characters of the game, Tracer, the one with really annoying voice. She like has a special costume where she like has the British flag on her back as a cape. The like American cowboy guy has one where he wears a poncho that's the US flag instead of his regular old poncho. There's stuff like that. Some nationalism. Robot Ninja from Japan has a Japanese, you know, thing where he's like all white with a red circle somewhere on his body. Or maybe he's cupping. Who knows?
Oh yeah, I recently learned about that. I thought Michael Phelps had what's his name?
Michael Phelps, yeah, the Olympic swimmer.
I thought he had leprosy or something. I was like, what's going on? Why is he dying? I thought, or maybe like he jumped into a over chlorinated pool or something, and his like skin was falling off. So I had to like Google it real quick. And I read about the cupping thing. I'm like, okay, well, I'm reading a bullshit article, next one. And then everyone said it was the same thing. I was like, this is stupid. It's just how science
what
works.
What is it, in case anyone cares?
What is it? All right, so, okay, basically, so there are people who, especially in the Olympics, who are engaging in this thing called cupping. And basically, they have these red marks, these like circles all over the body, like they're red or purple or whatever. And it looks like there's some problem with their skin or something. But what actually happens is they voluntarily undergo this thing called cupping, where when they have a muscle that's sore or they want to recover faster, in theory, they have these like this suction done on the section of their their musculature that's causing them problems, or where they want to recover faster from, or something. The idea is that by causing the suction there, it's pulling more blood to that area, which is supposed to help with recovery and healing, in the event that they hurt themselves or something. And of course, you can imagine that Olympians would be very interested in this because they want to be able to train harder. But I don't think there's any real science to back it up. It might just be placebo, which can also be helpful. But basically, it's like getting large hickeys all over your body via a machine. And it's just very strange. And it doesn't look good, especially at such a large event.
It seems a little strange.
It is strange.
It's better than doping, so there's that.
Yeah, but I mean, if you can imagine, like, if someone's willing to go to that kind of length to enhance their performance, they're probably doing the other things too. I don't know. It's just weird. But
yeah, Olympians are crazy. I mean, think about it. You just train for 4 years without actually doing anything, and then you play in like a single event for like a week, and then you go back to training for 4 more years.
Sounds rough. I guess yeah,
it's an odd thing.
Can't blame them for cupping then, at that point.
Just a couple cups. Has there been any Olympic related headlines that have caught your attention aside from Michael Phelps' leprosy?
I don't think so, no. And has the Winter Games come out yet for Sonic or whatever?
Oh, the Olympic game?
I think it did.
Yeah, it came out. It came out like a month ago.
Yeah.
I decided that $60 wasn't worth my time for a minigame collection.
Not even for the Bowser dancing?
I would really like to make that Bowser dance and other characters dance as well, but $60.
It's a lot of money, yeah. I mean, for that you could buy No Man's Sky.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with just watching the video of him dancing. I don't need all that. But unfortunately, some graphic images of weightlifters' elbows going out, and
that happened again?
Like twice at least. There was one guy that just lifted so much that when he lifted it, set it down, he started walking off and then just passed out while walking and he just fell over.
Jesus.
I told you, Olympics guys are crazy. There's been at least 2 bicycle crashes, including someone that there's like multiple fractures in their spine, as well as a concussion. So
concussion in their spine.
No, concussion and then multiple fractures in their spine.
Sounds bad.
Their spine brain is not thinking right. So it's it's a little dangerous, and then I think there's been a lot of problems with Rio as far as sanitation and such goes, but the most fascinating one has been the diving pool, because it started off on Monday, it was blue. Then on Tuesday, it quickly turned green, the entire pool. And like midday, the green pool started to spread over to another pool. Like another pool started turning green, while that diving pool was turning a darker shade of green. And then they had like all of Thursday without any like events. Like, okay, let's clean this up. People are complaining that their eyes are itching or something like that. This probably is not a good look. So then the games open up the next day. still green, and they had to they had to cancel the events for today. It's like our pool is too green. Sorry.
Well, why is it green? What it causes?
They say it's algae or something like that, and the swimmers complaining that their eyes are hurting or itching was because they gave it like a heavy dose of chlorine to try to stop the greenness. It wasn't actually because of the greenness. So it's allegedly it. I I found it funny in like the official statement that it's quote unquote totally safe.
No, that happened to me in North Carolina. Seriously. Okay, so I'm drinking this water. Okay, it tastes weird. I've probably told you this. And I'm like, it tastes kind of like dirt. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's just the algae blooms. It's earthy. I'm like, okay, that's algae in my water. Why's that? And they just kind of go with it, you know. Like you drink that or you drink bottled water. It's up to you. The Brita filter didn't really help that much, but it feels like the same thing. Like, oh yeah, it's just a little growth in there. No big deal. I mean, I know we live with bacteria and all that all over the place, but it just seems kind of weird to eat.
You need a little bacteria, but
yeah, but you don't need to eat like entire blooms. I don't know.
But you know, aside from that, you know, there's been some nice stories about, you know, there's like a teenage gymnast. I think her name is Simone Biles or Biles. Not sure, but she had like a record-breaking performance for that. Some swimmers have been like shattering records, and you know, it's just nice to see these young athletes train so hard for the last like 4 years and then get their comeuppance. And you know, for the most part, everyone's playing nice. I think I heard something about Israel and Egypt like refusing to shake each other's hands and starting like some big shit, but whatever. Deal with it. Olympics are fun.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I watched a little bit of it while I was down in Texas, just a little bit.
Hopefully, one day we'll actually have Mario and Sonic be at the real games.
Wait, isn't it the Rio games?
Yes, the Rio games.
It is the Rio games. Does it have the same sanitary issues in the game?
I don't think they addressed that in the game. Although you're willing to make your own comparisons, I suppose. I'm sure Bowser's not the cleanest guy. Probably turn a pool green by his own presence in it. Who knows?
Oh yeah, it wasn't the in Super Mario Sunshine. Wasn't the tub green? Tub water? It was.
It was probably blue before he got in.
This is his doing.
Dang it, Bowser.
You ruined Rio. You canceled swimming. You over-chlorinated the water.
He opens his mouth and just infects the entire air with Zika.
Yes. Apparently Zika's not really like inherently bad. It just fucks up your babies that you will have if you have babies. But I mean
that's no good.
No, I guess, but like, you know, just calm down on it a little bit. We have too many people, you know. It's hard to keep track of all these people. It's like Pokemon, you know. We got more people than Pokemon now. It's getting out of hand. But I think we've covered the bases.
Buzzed about all of it.
And then some. So thanks everyone for tuning in to this week's episode of the BuzzCast, episode 16, with loldbz and Ghoulston, myself, and Ghoulston himself.
Me.
And we'll be seeing you in about 2 weeks for the next episode of the Video Shorts BuzzCast. What do we have to look forward to? Definitely more Pokemon news, that's for sure. And
Uranium?
Any other surprises? What?
Uranium?
Oh, yes. Uranium's coming out in Street Fighter V. We didn't talk about Street Fighter V because nothing really new happened since then. But Uranium's going to come out, and we will have all of the Season 1 Street Fighter cast on deck. And we might start building towards a Video Shorts tournament. So if you're interested in that, definitely start getting warmed up. You don't want to be left behind when it comes to the Street Fighter Battleground. But we'll talk about maybe some more of that next week after we have our next BuzzCast in 2 weeks once we have more info for you guys. But for now, that's it. Thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you next time.